To purchase a drawing task for this lesson, go to creativitybridge.com and click on the upper menu. There you can click on our first unit, Perception and Drawing, and go down to our current assignment, Alignment Guides. Click on the Purchase Lesson PDF button, and there you can click on I want this. All right, so let's continue with our third of the 5 drawing tasks for this lesson. And oh boy, what a drawing task you have before you here. You've got this beautiful lady with all these leaves and butterflies and all this stuff. And you can see that the grid is disappearing almost to the point of non-existence. There's only 2 vertical lines here, 1 horizontal line here, and all this stuff to deal with. Now, let's not get frustrated with this thing. Let's try our best, take a deep breath, and let's just use the skills that we have and develop some new ones in order to be successful with this, okay? So looking at this image, let's remember some of the things that we've discussed in our previous drawings, and that is drawing the largest object first. And what I want to do is I want to isolate her lovely face here. So I'm going to use my highlighter, and I'm going to highlight this line so we can see it a little bit better, okay? This is where we want to start, because by putting this in, it's going to help anchor everything else, and because the large objects are going to set the tone for what's happening everywhere else in the drawing. Okay, so when I have this, that's going to help me out, and then later on I'll move on to some of the larger images as well here. Now let's go ahead and look at where the drawing is touching the grid, which is something I've been saying over and over to help us with our grid drawings. If I look at this top point here and where this intersection is, if I were to look at where the halfway point is, I would say that this is the halfway point about here. The forehead is maybe slightly below. So looking at this corresponding grid, I'm going to guess it's somewhere around here. Now, something you may have noticed is that the drawings are not the same size as the printed image. So in some drawings, you're drawing bigger, and some you're drawing smaller. And all that change of scale, these proportion shifts that you have to make, is like working your drawing muscles. It's making you stronger. You may not realize it, but having things at different sizes forces you to develop your observation skills even more, and it's making you a better artist. Now let's go ahead and figure out where this line is touching the grid here. If this is the halfway point about here, and this is the quarter point, it's obviously in between. Halfway, quarter point, I'm going to guess that that line is about here. Okay, this line down here, if this is this line segment, if this is the halfway point at about here, and this is the quarter points halfway, but around here, that's almost in between those two. Half, quarter, somewhere around here. So these 3 spots right here are really going to help me out to establish a drawing, because there's so much empty space here. Now our line has to be even more accurate. This line progression has to be even more accurate. But what I want to do right now before I start drawing is I'm going to use a strategy that we've used in a previous lesson, and that is I'm going to rotate the image. I'm not going to do it upside down, but I will do it sideways. And the reason I want to do that is I want to simplify that line and look at it almost like a line progression, like what we did in one of our previous lessons. So what I want to do is I want to mimic the line as it goes and does all these changes as it makes its path going this way, okay? I can start wherever I think it's going to be helpful. I'm going to start at this point, and I'm going to drop my way down here. Now I'm going to be looking at this point right here. I'm going to guess that that's going to be around here. So, and then this point here, this line comes this way. Now, if it's not exactly right, yours or mine, no worries. We can always fix it if we need to, but we need to start somewhere, right? We need to have something on the paper to fix. We don't want to be having what's called like a artistic paralysis, where we're just so overwhelmed by what we're supposed to draw. I'm going to look for where the mouth is. It's about almost halfway between this intersection and the chin. So what I was saying is I don't want to be so overcome by an artistic paralysis that I don't put anything down on the paper. Even me right now, it's like, all right, let's just jump in, right? I want to figure out where things are going to go, And if I've made a bad drawing or if it's incorrect, well then now I have something that I can fix. But if I don't attempt anything, then I have nothing to fix. So I need to make an attempt and then I'll correct it from there. Now I'm already seeing an issue here. It may be that I made the chin a little bit too high. But I think that might be correct. Let's take a look. I'm going to switch this around. There may be some issues with this part here. But again, we need to put something down in order to make adjustments to it. Oh yeah, this needs to be fixed right there. Okay, good. This line needs to be adjusted too. There we go. That's much better. Now, I'm not putting in the thick lines here. Notice that there's some line thickness here. I'm going to keep my line just really simple with my mechanical pencil. If you want to thicken them up later, that's fine. Right now, we're focusing on accurate line placement, the line angle, the direction, the length, all that kind of stuff. Now let's go ahead and put in this shape right here. When I see this eyeball, to me, it has kind of like a pizza slice triangle shape to it. I want to find where that's going to be. I'm going to guess that this is maybe around here somewhere. Here we go. The eyelashes connect to the eyebrow, and the eyebrow swooshes back this way. Maybe not that high. Now, I'm not going to thicken it up. I'm just going to keep it as a line right now, as a curve. So let me fix that. Okay. I need to fix this a little bit. Okay, better. Now that we have this, let's go ahead and place that ear. See how the ear exists at this intersection right here? And I see that the top part is slightly above it. This part's around here. This part is about here somewhere. Now what I can do is I can use what I've drawn, and I see that the mouth kind of aligns with this point here. Yeah, that was about right. So I can go ahead and connect all that stuff. Good. All right. I can put in all that stuff later, but I know that the ear is going to be right there. Oh, and I didn't finish the neck, did I? This line just stops right here. Since I'm not putting in the leaves in yet, actually figuring out where this is kind of tricky, because that's the thing about drawing. You know, right now this line is existing in a vacuum and I have nothing to compare it to. So I have to kind of visualize this drawing without these leaves here, and I'm going to guess that this line ends at about here. This should come a little bit less forward. Right. Now, these subtleties that I'm putting in here, if yours doesn't have that, don't stress out. We're looking for development of our perception. If we can make a nice drawing out of this, great. But remember, the point of this is to develop our perception skills, not necessarily to make a great drawing. If there is a great drawing that happens, that's an excellent byproduct, but the focus is on perception, okay? Now that I have this, I want to go ahead and put in the next largest object, which to me is this curve thing that's happening that starts at the bottom, gets really close to the nose, and stops right here. So this starts right here, so that's a big help. This gets really close to the nose, I'm going to guess around here, and this stops around this point, I'm going to guess. So this line goes like this. There's a little bit more of a gap between this and the chin. And then it swings back around this way. So something like that. And the line mirrors it on the other side here to give it its thickness. All right, good. So that's a good start. Now let's go ahead and start to put in some of the leaves that we see in this drawing. Let me go ahead and put that a little bit better on the screen. Um, Instead of drawing the outside edges of these leaves, what I would suggest is let's use a strategy that we're familiar with. That is axis lines, doing the inside part of the leaf first and then developing the outside. And that really should help us with all these leaves that we got in front of us, okay? So I'm going to look for the largest leaves first. I'm going to look for this spot right here, this spot, and I want to place these spots that I'm identifying accurately on my drawing. So I'm going to guess that this, if this is where the forehead is, this might be around here somewhere. I am making guesses, but my guesses are becoming better and better. Now I'm going to look for this area right here. See that rectangle that I just made? So it's smaller, so around here. This one is around here. Almost aligned with this other one. Yeah, that was right. Okay, so let's do these three to start off. I'm going to go ahead and draw this line as it drops down this way. And it should stop, yeah, right about there. If I go this way, horizontally, it's above the eyebrow. This one goes over the line here and it goes into this cell. This line comes over like this. This line is like this. And then this one here drops down to this. So this might be a little bit too long, just a little bit. This line comes over toward the forehead, goes up, goes this way. So I'm doing the inside, and if by doing the inside and making these lines accurate, also let's keep in mind negative space. So for example, see this V shape right here? I want to make sure that that white space in between stays accurate. This line stops down here. See that? I'm going to guess around here. This line is very short. This line is a little bit longer. And it drops below this one. See that? Now let's go ahead and close them and see what we got. This goes like here, here. So by doing this axis line approach and working from the inside out, which is going to be something that we'll be doing in later lessons, it's really going to help us establish an accurate drawing. And it's really helping us with our perception skills. See how this is close right here? And see how that's working out? Now, if your drawing isn't coming out exactly like this, no worries, no stress. We've got lots of mistakes to make, but we'll make them, together and we'll learn. So like right here, for example, see this line should have been a little bit more forward. I'm keeping in mind the negative space, the white space here, making sure that the white space is accurate. Right. Good. So I got those leaves there in the right spot. I can thicken them up later if I want to. The hair looks like it's going to work out here. Or maybe there's actually a little bit of an issue with this one because this line should go like this. So that means this line should stop here. This one's a little bit too long. Yeah, right here. Right, got it. Okay, so we can continue that with this leaf right here. I want to find where that spot's going to be. It is to the right of where this leaf ends. I'm going to guess it's about here. And then I'm drawing the axis lines of it. It drops down almost to where the ear is. This one gets close to the tip of the ear. My drawing's bouncing here all over the place. Oh, just press down the tape. That helped. This way, like that. Almost like a starfish, right? This point right here is above, drops down below, comes this way, this way. Because we are changing the scale of the drawings here on these lessons, it is making you work a lot more. If you were to draw this at the same size, it would be easier, but honestly, you wouldn't be getting as much out of it. It's the scale change of drawing something smaller that's making this drawing much more challenging, but ultimately much more rewarding. Drawing something easy, that's no big deal. And, we may have some pride with it, but doing something challenging, that's the trick. And coming up with something that's coming up successful, that's even better. And like I said, our best drawings are yet to come. Now let's go ahead and look at this top part here. See this curve that comes up this way? I want to find where that spot is and that spot is on my drawing. So this line ends near this intersection right here. This line is, if this is the top and this is the corner, is that about the halfway? Well, let's get that on camera, right? Let's get that on camera. There we go. Is this halfway? Almost, maybe slightly below here. Okay, we can check it. This point, yeah, that's right. See where this point is? It's slightly lower than that. Slightly, yeah, works out. Okay, so now I have this. I'm going to go ahead and put that curve in. And then there's these lines that mirror that curve. And then there's all that stuff in there. We can put that in later. But that's going to work like a container. Now I can go ahead and put this leaf right here and do all that. And it should fit just fine. Oh, actually, this is a little bit too low. See, I've got an issue here now. Oh, I see. Okay. All right, no worries. Don't anyone panic. There we go. There we go. Good. And then we got these little flowers here, these daisy-like flowers here. That's going to be actually kind of simple to do. There's a circle, and even these have their own axis line. So let's go ahead and start with that. I'm going to place this circle right here. And then I'm going to do the axis lines. There's one that goes this way, one that goes this way, one that goes this way. Yep, that's going to fit. This way, this way. And then once I have that, then I can just go ahead and do the petals, keeping in mind the negative space. See that little white space right there, that negative space I just shaded in? Right. So if something is off, go ahead and fix it. But that's how we approach it, step by step, okay? Now let's go ahead and deal with some of the issues that are happening on the right side of this drawing here. I'm going to go ahead and reposition my stuff here so it can be seen better on screen. If you'll indulge me. Okay, now we've got all these cool objects happening on the right side, specifically these butterflies here. What I'm going to suggest is let's treat these butterflies as an axis line drawing also, all right? So we look at these butterflies, we want to find where they start, where they stop, and the direction that they're going, like that, okay? So I want to find where this is going to be. I'm going to guess it's somewhere around here, and the angle and line length are something like this. This one is like heading toward the mouth. Don't open your mouth, lady. And it goes like that. Down here, this one is probably going to be somewhere down here, I'm going to guess. And it's heading toward that corner almost, like that. So these three simple little axis lines are going to become beautiful butterflies, okay? So what I'm going to do, now that I have the length of it, I can go ahead and start to do the specifics of the head and the body. And then I want to get the width of the wings. I'm going to say that the wings go from here, right, like that. So because they're symmetrical, meaning that they're equal on both sides, if I were to split it down the middle. Now don't do this. Don't get a butterfly cut in the middle. Oh yeah, they're symmetrical. They are symmetrical, okay? So if this one goes this way, that means this line is going to be the same length in the opposite direction. Okay? So that looks like it's going to work. This one here, a little bit shorter, and the wing reaches about here, right? And then we also have these objects here that are in between. I should deal with those right here. This shape that starts here, I can kind of divide that up also symmetrically. So what I'm going to do is along this line here, this goes this way. This point is maybe around here, right? Yeah, that works. That angle goes this way. They're radiating out from the center. And now what I can do here is I can go ahead and put that shape in. Goes like that. This shape in, goes like that. Oh, that's a little off. Again, don't hold my pencil the way I'm holding it. And then I can put the butterfly and it should fit just fine. And then this butterfly here. So by using this whole axis line approach, oh, this one's a little bit off. That is helping me. It's helping me place all these complex shapes, these complex objects in here, and it's going to help me figure things out. There we go. Oh, this is too big. You know, I always marvel when I watch people on YouTube when they draw perfectly. Like, wow, that's great. They get it right in the first shot. I don't. You know, and I drew these things. I designed this and drew it. It's based on a Muka drawing, but you know, I drew this. So you know, if I can't get it right on the first try, then don't beat yourself up. But see how the butterfly is going to fit now? I can put in all the details later, all that fun stuff. But the butterfly should fit no problem in here now. Okay, butterfly, butterfly, butterfly. I got this here. And then I've got a really good strategy for the leaves here. There's another little curve that I can put up here. No big deal. I'll continue putting in these big leaves. And you're going to find if we do this approach, if we work from the inside out, finding where these leaves begin at their center spots, it's really going to help us figure out where things are going to go. I'll do one more for the road. Right here. Swings up. Swings up. Keeping in mind that negative space right here between those two openings right there, between that stuff. Goes like this, and then I can go ahead and get that shape of the leaf on the outside. Oh, I forgot this piece. Don't tell anybody. Don't hit the hate button. But there we go. That gives me that. Swings in. Let's fix this. We're on our way.